Chicago Sky snapped their 7-game losing streak by beating the Los Angeles Sparks. It was a nice tune-up game for sure, but they can't necessarily capitalize on this win because the Atlanta Dream also won their game against the Wings, which means that they're still tied with the Dream. But looking at the bright side, it moved Dallas 3 games behind the Sky, so that's a positive. For the pregame, yesterday it was reported that Kennedy Carter came back to practice and would be available to play in this game. This was right after I said that I feared that she wouldn't return because of the small amount of games left, and at that point there wasn't really any news about her rehabbing, but it turns out that while she was out, she wasn't just completely inactive, which is probably why she was able to get right back to playing. Glad that she's better. I have so much respect for her for being out there on that court tonight. That's heart. That's love for the game for sure. Getting into the game, Kennedy was in the starting lineup and her impact was felt immediately, being able to score in transition, and she even threw a dime to Kamilla when she was wide open, which was refreshing to see after the many times over these past few games when Angel and Kamilla either had their defenders sealed or they were open, but the guards just didn't want to pass. Things that were established early were the ball running through Kennedy and Angel Reese taking jumpers, which she didn't hit one in this quarter, but I like that she's taking them because there's a shot there and she's being left wide open. Also, game speed jump shots are way different than practice jump shots, so it's good that she got them up early for some in-game practice. But while all of this was happening, that came at the expense of Kamilla post-ups that she got a lot of in that Minnesota game, but ever since then, I don't have the stats, but it looks like they've been going down. She played a lot outside of the paint in this quarter rather than in it, which decreased her production on offense, which I probably wouldn't like if I were only in this for Kamilla, but I like the whole team, and Kennedy ball was working, so I have no problems with that. But when Kennedy and Michaela were subbed out for Diamond and Rachel, I'll give them credit. They were the only ones to score in that 4-minute stretch when they combined for 3 threes, but they found themselves down 1 because they were running Lindsay Allen offense, expecting her to be a scoring threat. Then they were turning the ball over too much, which led to transition points for the Sparks, and Kamilla was passing out of some good post-up attempts that she should have got, which I don't like because it's regression from what she's shown over the past few games. And with Kennedy out of the game, that's her time to step up. In the second quarter, although the Sky ended up winning this quarter and getting the lead behind some really nice team play with everyone chipping in, I've got to say that one thing that I didn't like was Teaspoon leaving the guards to just get burned by Rickea Jackson. She had 11 points in this quarter. Even when Angel was on Rickea for a possession, she scored, but that's a better option than just having Rickea bully small guards and get free throws. Also, I don't really know why, but Isabel Harrison got 7 minutes of play in this quarter when she was bad on both ends of the court, missed shots and wouldn't feed Cardoso, then she wouldn't get back in transition. At the end of the day, the Sky still got the lead and Teaspoon stole some minutes for Angel after having to play her so much over these past few games, and Izzy had a positive plus minus, so that can be seen as a positive, but she really didn't have a positive impact in this quarter. In the third quarter, Teaspoon went with the starters for the whole quarter and they delivered. The defense locked in, so that helped, but really, I was way more surprised with the offense in this quarter. There was a lot of ball movement and everyone looked so free playing off of each other. Lindsay Allen 3-point attempts are rare, but she made 2 of them in this quarter, so that's always a nice bonus. But really, this quarter was mostly about Angel and Kennedy, with Kennedy drawing so much attention and getting the ball to Angel to score in advantageous positions without having to go up over double teams in the paint. Like, scoring looks so easy for her in this quarter. Also, going with the theme of playing free, Kamilla hit a mid-range shot to end the quarter. It's easier to take shots with confidence while having a big lead, so good on the Sky for locking in. Then in the fourth quarter, it was just extended garbage time. There were points when it got close, to which I liked when the lead got chipped down to 12 points. Teaspoon called a timeout. That's nice game management, but the Sky were always controlling this quarter by like 12 to 15 points, and they were never in real danger of losing this game. Now it's time for performance grades, and these are relative to expectations. Like if a bench player gets an A, that doesn't necessarily mean that they were better than a starter that gets a B. Teaspoon is going to get an A-. I didn't like that Izzy got to play 7 minutes in the second quarter and she let the guards get torched by Rickea for way too long, which is why she gets the minus tacked onto her grade, but that's all of the negatives that I have to say about her in this game. She had good game management, especially when, like I was just talking about, when she called a timeout when the lead got cut down to 12, and she let the ball run through her best players tonight. So there's not a ton to be mad at. It was a solid coaching performance. Angel Reese is going to get an A+ for this game. She had an efficient 24-12 game in a win. That's really all that needs to be said. The shot making was there, especially in the second half when she drew a lot of fouls and got to play a lot of one-on-one off of the attention that Kennedy created. Then on the defensive end, when she finally got the matchup with Rickea, the spark stopped going to her as an option. She took her out of the game. But yeah, nice to see her join the 20-point club again. A+ performance. Kennedy Carter is going to get an A-. She only gets the minus tacked onto her grade because the shot making wasn't all the way there, but she found other ways to be effective in this game, like using her scoring gravity to play make and create for others, mainly the bigs. Kamilla Cardoso is going to get an A. She had an efficient scoring night and held it down on defense for the most part. The only reason why it's not an A+ is because the lack of aggression. She passed out of a decent amount of post-ups that she definitely would have taken in that Minnesota game, but the Sky won, so all's well that ends well. Michaela is going to get an A. She didn't take on this like 15-point scoring role that she has been for the past few games, but she gave a very efficient 10 points and was a nice complementary piece that just fit into her role tonight. Diamond is going to get a B+. This was a solid game for her, especially for her standards and expectations. Overall, she made more good plays than bad plays, but most of the time it seemed like whenever she made a good play, it would get canceled out by a bad play. But yeah, she hit a 3 and she was a serviceable player off the bench that didn't look unplayable. Rachel Banham is going to get an A-. The defense is always going to be an issue, but she set the tone in the first half by making 3 3-pointers. Lindsay Allen is going to get an A. She made some really timely threes in the third quarter, and yeah, she found open players a good amount. 1 turnover in this game. There wasn't as much dribbling out the shot clock, and she was willing to defer to Kennedy. So yeah, she had a solid game. Nothing to really be upset about. Isabel Harrison is going to get an F. Even though she had a positive +-, she just wasn't that good on either end of the court, and the team wasn't performing well because of her. Then Brianna only played in garbage time, so there's no grade that I can really give her. And Dana Evans didn't even play, which was a shocker for sure, but it worked. I never wanted her to be iced out completely. I just wanted Dana and Diamond to play in separate lineups because they always mess up the offense by only trying to pass to each other. But hey, that's the call that Teaspoon made and it worked, so I can't be mad at it. A win is a win. The Chicago Sky will play the Dallas Wings on Sunday. It just got way harder for them to make the playoffs, but they're still in it and they have the right to swap picks with Chicago in the 2025 draft, so that's a thing. I'm not expecting a gimme game, especially with this Dallas team being healthy, but I see it as a winnable game, so I'm interested to see how it plays out. But yeah, that is all for now.